Hi, today we're going to paint a folk art pink rose. But before we start, I want to thank you. I reached 100 subscribers on May 15th. I'm honored and humbled and appreciate each and every one of you. I love painting flowers. They're so forgiving. Flowers can be painted in any number of ways, even roses, as complicated as they may seem. The rose we're going to be doing today is a bud. The shape of a rosebud is a U. And incidentally, the U shape may be used to draw a tulip, as well as a calla lily. To draw or paint a flower, all you need to do is know the shapes that are involved. Once you have your design, draw it on the stone. If you want to change it, go for it. Remember, this is your stone. You can paint it however way you like. The rock I'm using today is white. I applied 2 layers of matte medium to make the application of the paint easier. If you don't have a white rock, let the matte medium dry and paint 2 layers or 2 or 3 layers of white. I'm using a pink Posca pen to fill in the rose. By and large, when I'm working on a folk art piece, I like to use as a first base coat a Posca pen because the surface is smooth with no lines. If you don't have Posca pens, not a problem. Use whatever acrylic paint you have at your disposal. I wanted to have the base of the bud be a bit more rounded, so I added a little space on either side. Here I'm mixing together a mid-range pink. I used a combination of red and white. Pretty soon we'll mix a highlight pink using a bit more white. But for now, paint a thin line around the edges of the petals. Now, using a lighter mid-range, paint a thinner line along the edge of the petals. Doing this will make your petals pop just a little bit. If you're enjoying this video, click the subscribe button and the bell notification for future rock painting ideas. Mix up a bit more mid-range pink and paint that small thin line along the edge of the rosebud. Using a bit of the red at full strength, paint in what could be considered the shadow of the rosebud. I suggest going really thin first, because you can always expand the shadow as you want. I wanted a bit more shadow here, so I'm adding it now. And if you think you overdid it, break out the Posca pen or remix the previous color and adjust everything. Remember when I said it's okay to adjust your design? Well, this is me changing my design. I decided to add some leaves to the base of the rosebud. First, I painted in a layer of white. I could have used the white Posca pen, but the white was already on my palette. See, that was easy. Not a problem. One of the elements of folk art is a checkerboard pattern. And before you know it, it's all drawn in by the magic of video editing. But you take your time. I chose yellow and green to fill in the pattern. Yellow to offer support for the green, and green because it's a complement color of the red and pink. But you could use whatever colors you like. Coming along nicely, don't you think? Time to fill in the green. Sorry about the dropped footage, but you didn't miss much. I was just painting in the green squares. Using the dark green Posca pen, I'm drawing or painting in little dots. And using a lighter green, I'm drawing or painting dots in the yellow squares. Now obviously you can leave the dots out, but I think they add another dimension to the background. Without the dots, the background seems a little stark. And because I love dots, I'm adding them to the leaves as well. Now, technically speaking, adding black lines to a folk art painting, especially fine lines, is kind of a stylistic choice. But then again, the chances are that people who created the original folk art paintings were not using acrylics. I guess what I'm saying is that it's important for you to make what you're doing your own, using your own style, your own techniques. Okay, now that that's out of the way, it's important for you to allow your rock painting to dry overnight before applying any kind of line work. Even though the surface feels dry, it's not. The points of the pen, in this case, micron, is not too finicky or sensitive, but if you start using it on a surface that's not completely dry, you take the chance of ruining the nibs. And that's why I often work on pieces simultaneously, so that when one stone is drying and I still have the creative urge to do another one, I don't have to stop the flow. What I'm doing here is drawing a fine line around each petal. And where petals come together, I'm adding a little bit more black to create a bit of a shadow. I'm applying a circle around the dots of the green squares and a small circle within the dots of the yellow squares. Going back to the dots within the green squares, I'm loosely drawing in a 4-petaled flower. Celebrate each other, celebrate your creative inner voice, and remember to paint along the way.